All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Tuesday morning. Welcome aboard our primary live trade brief, day 2 of the industry leading full throttle training and trading. My apologies yesterday, or Fox News apologies. We had an abbreviated brief yesterday, a welcome aboard brief. I had a Fox News hit at 10:55, logged in, got my sport coat on, ready to go. Producer's like, thanks for jumping through your ass whiz. The president and the Australian prime minister are getting ready to speak. So thanks again. I'm like, that's fantastic. Thank you. So my apologies yesterday for the abbreviated session, and I got canceled. That's life in the big city. If you didn't get a chance to attend yesterday, here is the replay. Morning, Debbie, Vinny, everybody. There's a replay from yesterday. Today's replay will be on here as well. Tomorrow's replay, Thursday's replay. So there's the replay page. Two people as of me jumping on the air already got their full throttle annual memberships. That's fantastic. I just did a welcome aboard brief and people signed up, which is great. Today we have a lot to cover. Let me get where's all my current members? Let me get a hell yeah. I was going to drop an F-bomb. It might be appropriate to drop an F-bomb for this one. Raytheon. Raytheon is up 10% right now. Let me get a hell yeah from all my current TGO members in Raytheon. With how much? What's your synthetic stock position up right now? Go look at Raytheon. I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's up 11%. If you got long-term bullet, look at Raytheon right here. From there, 160% return. That's in the stock. If you've been doing the options on Raytheon, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. 160% return in rate. Look at Jeff, 481% return. I absolutely love seeing that. Vicky, look at Paul, ladies and gentlemen, 700% return with the option. So for all where's all our new people? Look at Dwayne. Since June, 300%. Yates, almost 200%. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all current members. Remember, I'm one of the only guys in the industry. I think I am the only guy in the industry, or girl, that does this. You join a week of live trading and training. I don't give you death by PowerPoint. I show you live with our regular members what we do here. These are all of their returns with what is called a synthetic stock position. We're not stupid. We don't buy shares of stocks. It makes 0 sense. I want a dividend. I can find a dividend in my couch. Would you rather make 700% or I make 3% a year on a dividend stock? Dividends are stupid. Look at Doug, 257%. Debbie, 200%. Yeah, Doug, we'll talk psychedelics tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, so if you're sitting here going, well, Wiz, I'm new and I'm kicking myself. It ain't over for Raytheon, folks. It is just beginning, right? Let me remind you, nobody in this room is allowed to trade off the left side of the chart. My job, your job, is to project our thoughts forward in space and time so we can place trades today that will profit in the future, which will be that day, the now. There is no past, there is no future, there is only now. So folks, based on Raytheon's earnings and sadly what's going on in the world, Raytheon will continue to rip. As I said yesterday, only the dead have seen the end of war. I don't want Raytheon to rip as a human. I hate it. But guess what? As Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm here to teach you how to print money, and all my current TGO members just showed you how much money they are making with Raytheon, have made, will continue to make. So we're going to go a little longer today since I screwed you yesterday. We're going to do 2 trades today. I'm going to show you how to get bullish long-term bullish on Raytheon. And then we're going to do a bullish on Merica trade. Okay. Because no matter what's going on right now, markets at record highs, inflation, war, all sorts of badness ends, thank God. And the markets historically go up and to the right over time. Every dip, when it happens, has been what? A buying opportunity. I told you as part of my intro yesterday, I was part of the dot-com bubble, sitting in a fighter squadron in Miramar, day trading. Pop! Holy shit. Learned a lot about risk management during the dot-com bubble pop. I was at ground zero when the global financial crisis happened. I was in the board of trade. I ran over to the SIBO, Chicago Board Options Exchange, to the VIX pit. I'm like, oh my God, is this the end? No, it wasn't. Joe Biden's bear market in 2022, in October of 2022, whenever it was, the S&P 500 was down 25%. If you bought it, you're printing money right now. So we're going to talk about a bullish on Merica trade as well. So 13 slots left. We're done. I stopped a year or two ago taking 50 new members. I don't like a zoo. No offense. I don't like a lot of unwashed masses in here. I like a tight knit squadron. Then it was 25. Now we're down to 15. Okay. Tomorrow we'll do AR, accelerated retirement. We're going to talk about psychedelics. Wait until you see some of the returns in these psychedelic trades. Who was I talking to? Oh, Norm. Susie and I had lunch with Norm the other day down in Fort Lauderdale. He runs Coherence, the place where we exercise our rights as a church. He's like, dude, I got to tie it like where mine met at $1. I'm up like 1,000,000,000%. Thank you so much for that. Helped him buy the place. You're welcome, Norm. And then we're done. We'll be done with Full Throttle. If there are a couple slots left, if we don't get the next 13 people, then I will open a couple monthly slots to get to 15. For now, I want series people, annual memberships. Let's get airborne. Then Thursday, if you're not ready for Full Throttle, we'll talk solo Amazon, the only stock that you technically need to own. Saw a weakness in Amazon yesterday, didn't you? AWS server in the Northeast essentially took down Signal and a bunch of other websites and stuff too. What's going on, Jeff? Already gave you the replay page. Okay, so no more slides and everything like that because we need to get airborne. So you can grab your membership right here on the replay page, right there, or you can always go to the home page up at the top to grab your membership as well. Underneath trade groups right there, it's the first drop down right there, Full Throttle. Okay, so just click right there and you'll be good to go. Any administrative questions before we get airborne, because we have a lot to cover and limited time. Time isn't limited. Time does not exist. I am so excited right now. I got maybe an hour call today with a very close friend up in Palm Beach. Her husband is down at Basi Clinic. It's an ibogaine clinic down in Cancun. And we were doing some praying this morning. He's getting ready to step into the medicine. They call it a medicine. I call it a sacrament. Tonight? I think it's tonight. So it's part of my healing to help people. This guy, very close friend of mine, he's in a bad place, man. Alcohol, drugs, pornography, spiral in the drain right now. And it's so, I feel like a parent on Christmas Eve. I know what's going to happen somewhat. It's like looking at a couple knowing that they're going to love their Christmas present, right? So I'm just in such a good mood this morning because and of course she's worried, right? Unknown, and my husband, and if you know my individual healing journey, it's so cool. We'll talk about that stuff tomorrow. All right, let's throttle up and get airborne. Here we go. I got booted for Trump and the Australian Prime Minister yesterday for their press conference. And good news, rare earth stocks soar after a mega US-Australia minerals deal to slash dependence on China. Well, that's kind of good news, right? Because last week when I was in Aspen doing a fundraiser, that happened. Whoa, what was that? Well, that was China saying we are limiting rare earth exports, even though they said they wouldn't do that. And the market imploded. That caused Trump to tweet, we're in a trade war with China. And then we had down day, up day, down day, up day, down day, up day, up day, flat. Okay. So the fact, and folks, Australia, we have a bunch of Australians who trade. Graham, I don't know if you're in here, Graham. They stay up. It's a late night for our Australia traders. But that's it's a continent, folks. It's got a shit ton of rare earth. So it's great to see that our Australian allies are hooking us and the world up with a hook, man. It's good. And they're getting submarines, right? The Australia U.S. Submarine deal. Yesterday, President was. If you looked at the market yesterday, it was a heart rate monitor. I want China to thrive, but let's just go through his stream of consciousness here. I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with the president of China. They'll threaten us with rare earths. I don't think they're threatening us too much right now, but they could do that. But I threaten them with something I think is much more powerful, and it's tariffs. 11:45. China may pay 155% tariff if no deal by November 1st. Stocks imploded. 10 minutes later, we'll end up with a strong deal with China. Stocks went up. 20 minutes later, I could threaten China with airplane export controls. Stocks down. Trump, 5 minutes later, I want China to thrive. So, this is a very tactical market, right? So actually this morning, what we're going to focus on is we're going to get away from the noise a little bit right now. We're going to go into the future when this dust settles, because this isn't going to be forever. The next 3.5 years of the Trump administration is not going to be trade war with China. They're meeting at the end of the month, next week or whenever it is, and it's either bad or good, right? It's either a 1 or a 0. But if it's bad, the bad's not going to be able to last. Okay. So put the dust, as the dust settles, we'll put this behind us and we'll focus on the forward. But remember, as an options trader, we can be bipolar. We can be long-term bullish years into the future, which I'm about to show you, while short-term bearish or neutral, right? I shared with you, you probably saw in our emails recently, we made the model portfolio. I made 15 grand right there on a trade I placed right around here. It was called a trudge. It's a trade that I'm pretty sure is going to make money, and it serves as a hedge to protect my long-term bullish positions. I think that protection cost me 2 grand, 3 grand, whatever it was, and it made 15 as the market went down, right? So if you want to learn how to make money as other people panic, you're at the right place. So China is betting it can win a trade war with Trump. It's playing hardball. Why? The first sentence says it all. In its trade standoff with Washington, Beijing thinks it has found the Achilles heel. President Trump's fixation on the stock market. They have a point. Do you not remember what happened at the April bottom? At the April bottom, ladies and gentlemen, the Treasury Secretary ran into the Oval Office and said the bond market's broken and we're approaching a bear market. What did Trump do? Trade deals. I got deals. Everybody signed a deal. First people to me win. Everybody else gets screwed. But everybody came to me. It's all over with. And stocks did not look back until a week and a half ago when it was reported or that we don't have a trade deal with China and we're still working on it. Okay. So getting close to a solution with China, I'll believe it when I see it, not when I hear it. I thought I heard Trump or Bessent back here go, yeah, everything's fine with China. I remember briefing you on this saying what? Bessent said, yeah, we're kind of agreement with China. It's just, the president and Xi have to, like get together and sign something. I'm like, okay. So we don't have one, but it all sounds good. And then it reared its ugly head a week and a half ago. So we'll see. Big market swings are back, putting investors on edge. Oh boy. The VIX, we talked about this yesterday, spiked recently. Why? The fear gauge, the volatility index, goes up when people freak out. It goes down when that passes. So we are starting to see a little bit of cracks in that rip your face off rally. But we're also coming into collision with what? The end of year rally. This is seasonal, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting towards the end of October. Susie and I are going up to our retreat center this weekend. We have 6 veterans that are going to go sit with the sacrament. I am so excited. Why am I rambling about this? Because I'm like, that's right, end of October, retreat. But folks, it's almost November. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas lights might already be up in Costco. Actually, there are. I got a new laptop the other day, and Susie and I walk in, and the Christmas trees are up at Costco. So we tend to have an end of year rally. Amazon tends to get off the mat and start rallying a little bit. Everything starts to look a little bit better. I've been doing this for 34 years. I'd say anecdotally, 90% of the time we have an end of year rally. I can absolutely remember the last time we didn't. Go look at your chart. 2018. We had a bear market from the beginning of October when Steve Mnuchin was Treasury Secretary, and Powell, the first Trump presidency, said, probably need to raise interest rates. We went down 22% by my birthday, New Year's Eve. That was not a Christmas rally. I remember that one. But usually, folks, seasonally, we get a rally into year end. Okay? For all my CBOE people, CBOE, CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange. A lot of us are long-term bullish on CBOE. Did you see this? CBOE has submitted a proposal to the SEC seeking to expand options trading hours, including a pre-market and post-market session. Wow. What does that mean for CBOE? Mo money. Mo options trading, mo money. 24/7 over in Europe, pre and post market in the US. If you're not long-term bullish on CBOE, you're a fool. Get long-term bullish on CBOE with a synthetic stock. When did I recommend initially CBOE? Right around there. That trade is up. Not the trade, the stock is up 100. The stock, not options positions, which will be quadruple that amount. You look at that chart. Every option, equity option traded goes through the CBOE. It is the bank. Get long-term bullish on CBOE. I just saw that announcement. I figured I'd brief that on you. I have a whole midsection of this brief about AI. So, I'm not going to do it. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I'm focusing psychedelics and healing tomorrow. Oh, let me say this. You got to join. You have absolutely got to join, because we're going to talk about things. Let me rip through this. I'm going to set a timer. 5 minutes, go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Hinton, he is known as the father of AI. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2024 for his work on neural networks. Do you know what he said during his speech? It's going to wipe out jobs, and then it's going to destroy humanity. There's the cliff notes of the speech. Don't believe me? Let me give it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, AI is a disaster. There's not enough power to do any of this. Do you know how many nuke plants we have? 2. The U.S. has added 2 nukes since 1995. I was a lieutenant on cruise on the Lincoln in 1995. We need 73 plants to power all the stuff that they're throwing at us. Do you know how long it takes to build a nuke reactor? 10 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, AI data centers, desperate for electricity, are building their own power plants. We got long-term bullish last week on one of the nuke. We have a badass female Air Force fighter pilot. I mean, the Air Force is barely on our side. Don't get me started. But Arrow works in the nuke power industry. If you listened to her a year ago with the names that she told her fellow TGO members to buy, you are filthy rich. Thank you, Arrow, for giving us. AI data centers will use 12% of all U.S. power by 2030. Guess what's happening in municipalities? What was it, Georgia, some other? All these people are seeing their electricity and water bills quadruple. How are these billionaire trillionaires sticking it to we the people to power their profits and their data centers? Are you shitting me? So we have a lot of bad coming. A Fed lieutenant last week said AI is advancing so fast, job losses will come first. New jobs may emerge only after years. That's not going to happen. I guarantee you. A Senate report released last week. Why isn't this on the front page of the news? AI and automation could eliminate nearly 100. Did you hear me? 30% of Americans will be out of work due to AI over the next 10 years. Did you hear that? I want you to sit up straight and listen to that. I've been saying this for 5 years, man. Nobody is listening. Everybody knows nobody's doing anything. There will be a handful of trillionaires in this world at the top of these things, and the rest, social unrest will happen, folks. I told you 2 weeks ago, Accenture, the ultimate white collar company, got rid of 10,000 people making 250 to 500 grand a year. Walmart laid off 10,000 of their white collar jobs. Folks, these aren't factory workers at Amazon getting replaced by robots. These are middle class, upper middle class jobs, and they ain't going to find a new job, folks. You're some 50-year-old white dude at Accenture who just got laid off. You're going to work at Starbucks. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is awful. There's the bubble, man. It's dependent on like one thing or maybe two things. So I'm going to rip through this. Like I said, I wanted to take 5 minutes. Oracle isn't answering the hardest questions about its AI plans. What? Software giant boosts long-term targets, but paying for an artificial build-out will stretch its resources. None of these people have the cash, and it's circular. It's a self-licking ice cream cone. Okay. This is some Amazon stuff we'll talk about on Thursday. Amazon building their own like small nuclear reactors, which is pretty cool. This was an Orwellian article in the Wall Street Journal today about Amazon fulfillment centers where the humans are actually the robots. This was, let me give you this. Read this when you get a chance. This was sad. I told you this 10 years ago when I did consulting south of Miami International Airport at a fulfillment center. I'm like, it's over with. And back then, it was less robots than this. They actually have dark factories now. There's no light in them. Robots don't need light to work, man. These things are zipping around in the dark. They actually have what they call a DMZ stuff, a DMZ area where humans, whatever. We'll talk about all the solo Amazon stuff on Thursday. Somebody asked, like, hey, this sounds like climate change or Y2K. Listen to this, folks. All technology has been leading to what? This moment. Don't give me the whiz. They said the same, the buggy, the horse and whip makers laughed at the auto, and the auto laughed at the airplane. And all of that, folks, is a pyramid, right? We're getting towards the ultimate technology. Did you hear Elon the other day? What's it called? AGI or whatever it's called? Like, we're getting to the point now where the AIs have their own mind. That's You don't get any higher technology than that, folks. Watch the movie Ex Machina. It's a great movie. You know, the guy making the thing, he's like, man, 10, 15, 20 years, the AI is going to look back. They're going to look at us like we look at dinosaur fossils, folks. It's over with for humanity. I guarantee you. Does everybody understand me? I don't want it to happen. I'm going to make money on the trades we have, and it's going to be an absolute horror, period. Now let's get happier. Ladies and gentlemen, for all the new folks in this room, Raytheon. Now, some of you might be like, well, Wiz, why would I get bullish? It's having a 9% pop today. I'm going to wait for it to pull back. How do you know it's going to pull back? If you know it's going to pull back, sell the house, mortgage to the wife and kids, and get bearish on it. Oh, no, I don't. Then stop talking. What we're going to do right now is for all the new folks in the room, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a little bit of options basic training right now. Raytheon crushed it. I told you weren't here. If you're free, I told my members last week, Zelensky, in the whatever room he was in with President Trump, said the word Raytheon. I can't remember the last time I heard like another world leader say, well, we checked with Raytheon and they said they could absolutely spool up what we need for the Tomahawks or whatever. I'm like, holy crap, the dude just said Raytheon. So, crushed the earnings. Sadly, war, only the dead have seen the end of war. Raytheon's going to continue to print money. Speaking of AI, I got a lot of bros and sisters, mainly the bros that I still talk to, who they keep their top secret clearance. I know what's going on, man, but the way they talk, if you can dream it or nightmare it, it's happening in dark rooms or white rooms at Raytheon. Autonomous killing machines and this and anti-drone this and drone that and drones the size of a mosquito that'll fly up your nose and explode. Crazy shit, folks. As long as there's man's going to sit here and dream of ways on how to kill another man. I hate it, but I'm going to make money off of it. So how many of you, after that beautiful commit criteria, would love to buy 100 shares of Raytheon? Wiz, you sold me. Even though you scared me, you sold me. If you wanted to buy 100 shares of Raytheon right now, baby, you need $17,500. And you'd also be an idiot. Why would you buy 100 shares of Raytheon? Ladies and gentlemen, it's got a 1.69% dividend. That's literally a rounding error. So there's no dividend. Why do you want to own the shares? Well, as a shareholder, I get to vote. Your 100 shares of Raytheon, folks, isn't even a grain of sand on the Raytheon shares beach. Bill Ackman, if he's bullish on Raytheon, probably owns a couple more shares than you. So the dividend's negligible and your 100 shares is nothing. So you're not, if you get a shareholder vote thing in the mail, put it in the recycling and help save the earth. So it makes 0 cents to buy 100 shares of Raytheon. Does everybody agree with that? Yes? So you should know by now, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you, that one options contract equals 100 shares of stock. What's a contract? Folks, you've traded options your whole adult life. An options contract has what? What's a contract have? Well, it has a date, duh, and it's got a price, duh. That's all an option contract is as well. So instead of spending $17,500, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up the options chain and I'm going to fly in my time machine all the way out as far into the future as humanly possible. Why? Because I want to give this trade as much time to work. January of 2028. We can go all the way out 2.5 years into the future, ladies and gentlemen, and get bullish. Do you know what the average holding time of a stock is for the average American? It's under 2 years. This isn't your father and mother stock market where I'm buying shares of General Motors. They got share certificates in the mail and you put them in the closet in a shoebox, folks. People don't hold stocks forever. So why don't we go all the way out as far as we can and look at the options chain? Right now, as I'm talking to you, Raytheon's valued at 175.30. Let's look in the middle here. You see, these are what's called a strike price. What did I say an options contract has? A date, Jan 28, and a price. Well, this is called at the money. These 175 call options are at the money. So let's just click on that real quick. If I buy one option contract all the way out to Jan 28 at 175, remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you bought a car, you bought a house, buyers have rights. I bought this house, I have the right to the keys. I bought the car, I have the right to the keys. I bought this call option, I have the right to buy the stock at 175 all the way out into the future. Okay? So if we buy one it's called at the money since it's right around 175. If I buy a single 175 call, it's $3,000. I just saved you $14,500 that you can donate to the foundation or Sacred Warrior Fellowship. Why would you buy the stock? Again, these are rhetorical questions. It makes no sense. No dividend, no vote. I'm not done yet. Remember, buying this call option at 175 means you're bullish. It's going to go up. Wiz, it's going to be a $300 stock January 28. Awesome. I agree with you. Somebody is on the other side of this trade, meaning they have to sell you that call option. There's somebody on the other side of this trade sitting there drinking their coffee going, Raytheon. Do they not see Trump? He's going to have peace in Ukraine, peace in the Middle East. Wiz is doing psychedelics and he's healing the planet. Raytheon's going to implode. I'll sell you that call option. This is what makes a market, ladies and gentlemen. A buyer and a seller, right? So a call seller is bearish. They think Raytheon's going to go down. So in 3 minutes, I just taught you calls. Now, many of you know what a put is. You've probably heard it or at a cocktail party or watching CNBC. Oh, the market's going to go down. I'm going to buy some puts. A put is insurance. If you're buying a put, you're like, uh-oh, I think something's going to go down. I want to protect it. A put buyer is bearish. What does put mean? Well, if the stock implodes, I have the right to put this stock to somebody else at that strike price. Put that stock to somebody else. That's a put buyer. A put buyer is bearish. It's going down. Again, what makes a market? Somebody has to sell me that put. It ain't going down. It's going up. I'll sell you that put. A put seller is bullish. Okay? So why don't we sell a single at the money put? Ladies and gentlemen, when you buy an at the money call and you sell an at the money put with the same expiration and same strike, you get what we call synthetic stock. You are just like you bought 100 shares of Raytheon, but how much are you spending? $600 I just saved you approximately $17,000. Nobody in this room can go, I'd rather spend 17.5 over 600 bucks. Are you an idiot? So, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen right now is a tactic we call synthetic stock. The term synthetic means what? You don't own the physical shares, man. I already told you. What don't you get with synthetic stock? The dividend and a vote. I don't give a shit about either of those. And I care about saving $16,900. Synthetic stock. You're welcome. Now, you could do this right now, set it and forget it and be done forever. Not forever. You'd look at it in December of 27 like, holy shit, Wiz, that cost me 650 bucks and I'm up 20 grand. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Donate some of it to the foundation. So, exactly, Vicky. This thing's ripping. Now, I'm not done with this because let's go look at something. The first place you always look, I told you yesterday, is what? Max potential loss. How much can I lose on this trade? Whoa, holy crap, Wiz. It's like the stock. Duh. What's your max? If you bought 100 shares of Raytheon right now for $17,500, how much can you lose? Say it with me. $17,500. What? Raytheon can go to zero. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to investing. Yes, stocks can go to zero. Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Enron. There's a graveyard full of stocks that have gone to zero. Can Raytheon go to zero? Yes. Will it? No. As a matter of fact, look at the probability of losing 18 grand. 0.00. That's Mr. Blutarski's GPA in Animal House. There's probably 16 decimal points and a 1. The odds of getting eaten by a golden retriever are never zero. They're infinitesimally small, but they're never zero. So here's what we can do. When Joe Biden's bear market happened, what did they call it? Well, as of this morning, the S&P 500 is down 20%. We are in a bear market. Breaking news, Apple, years ago, is officially down 20% this morning. It's in a bear market. So I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an options trader. I'm a political science major from South Jersey. I need easy math. Why don't we buy something called a protective put 20% underneath the current stock price? Looks like somebody already did my math for me. Why don't we go buy a 140 put underneath it to protect us in case it does go to zero? But this also does something else, folks. I don't talk margin and brokered stuff too much in detail because out of the 300 people registered for these briefs, everybody might have different margin rules, more money in their account, less money. Here's what I'm getting at is some brokerage accounts, if they see the max risk at 18 grand, they might say, well, you're going to need about 6 grand in your account to do that trade, on margin. What this protective put does is also lower that. So watch this. Couple things real quick before I analyze this new trade. Now we're up at $1,700 for the cost of this trade. Why? You bought insurance. Insurance ain't free. So the cost of the trade went up a little bit. But again, would you rather spend $17,500 or $1,700? I know the answer. But watch what I did. With the just regular synthetic stock, we were risking 18 grand. Watch what Wizard did to the risk in this trade now. 5 grand, 5,200. I want that to sink in. If you're an idiot and you buy 100 shares of Raytheon today for 17,500 and you don't have a disaster put and it goes to zero, how much do you lose? Oh my God, Wiz. Raytheon went to breaking news. Raytheon's new CEO is Satan and the stock's at zero in after hours trading. How much do you lose if you bought 100 shares? $17,500. How much do you lose in synthetic stock? $5,200. Would you rather lose 17,500 or 5,200? Again, rhetorical question. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm awesome, right? Isn't this fantastic? You could just, again, put this in your filing cabinet and let this trade go, man. Raytheon's, let's go. I should have the chart up in the background this entire time. Why? Because it's moving up and to the right. Let me just kind of move this chart out of the way, right? Folks, I could be completely wrong. Wiz, peace broke out and you're an idiot and it's down here. Absolutely could happen. Welcome to investing. Welcome to trading. But again, we have a disaster put. But I'm not done yet. Any questions so far on this? As a matter of fact, I'm not going to take questions because in a live trade brief, we're moving. When you join, you'll get access to Options Weapons School. Session 6, I think, is an hour and a half on this tactic. So I'm not going to take any questions. We're going to move. I'm not done yet. I'm cheap. $1,700. I don't pay $1,700. So guess what Wiz is going to do? I'm going to have somebody pay this trade off. It's going to be free to me eventually. Oh, how do you do that? What we can do is sell a front month. What's the front month? You're sitting in the front month, October, November, December. Why don't we sell a call out to Friday against this position? What are we at? 175 right now. We kind of peaked. We're probably going to fill this gap a little bit, even with all the upgrades. That's a big pop. We could sell. Let's do a 177.5 out the Friday. What did I just do, ladies and gentlemen? I just brought in $115. I just lowered the cost basis of this trade. Hey, it's a little bit, but guess what I'm going to do? Every week, I'm going to sell some calls against this position, and every week that's going to get less and less and less. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm awesome, but isn't this effing fantastic? The only time I'm not going to sell an upside call against this position is if it's on a tear. Now, clearly it looks like it's on a tear right now, but that's an earnings tear. What do I mean by this? So folks, let me break down the chart here. So this is a tear. I wouldn't sell weekly calls against my position. I just sit there with my boots up on the table, smoking my cigar, lighting it with a $100 bill. When it's flat or on a gentle climb schedule, yeah, I'll sell calls against it. But when it's on a tear, enjoy the profits, baby. If it's going down, hell, I'll sell at the money calls to make some money. Again, hour and a half lecture on synthetic stock. Join and you can go watch it. But here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take a screenshot of this because I'm going to give it to my members. I'm going to demonstrate. Wiz, Tuesdays, 10 a.m. I can't join you. Or you're watching me on the replay right now. Well, guess what? You're going to get the damn trade as if you're in the brief with your fellow members. What's today's date? Raytheon, 10/21. Okay. So here's what I do. I take screenshots of the trade. And remember, folks, if you're using a PC or something like that, you can use your snipping tool, or you can just wait for me to blast this out as a trade alert, which I will show you right now. Save RTX. What's today's date? 10/21 metric. Okay. All right. Now, real quick, if you're sitting here going, well, Wiz, the max profit is 200. That's based on the short call. That's not based on a 2.5-year trade. Don't get confused. People are like, hey, the max profit went from infinite to it's based on that weekly call I just sold. Do you get that? If you don't, join and watch the Options Weapons School. So here we are over in the hunters. As you can see, the count's already gone up. Okay. Trade alert thread. New, what was that? Jan 28 RTX long-term bullish, excuse me, synthetic stock. So if you're free, you're not getting this. I'm not paying to give you free trades. I at everyone, so 286 members will get this alert. Okay, so I click on the image here. Add image from my desktop. Today is our middle son Jack's 21st birthday, man. Wow. Don't blink. Out at the University of Colorado. So there we go. Blowout earnings. Stock was up as high as 12%. And somebody wrote this already, but yeah. So folks, now that I'm long-term bullish on Raytheon, I'm going to trade the front months, not just with that weekly short call. I'll do a bull put spread. Hell, out to Friday, I might fire a bear call spread. I don't think it's going to 12% pop on earnings. I think it's going to fill the gap. I might even sell a bear call spread, right? The point is that those profits will also help pay for the long-term bullish trade. Now I go over to my lifetime group, the most elite people out there, 218 lifetime members, new Jan 28, Raytheon. I post the text in there and I post the image. Real quick, if you're a current Top Gun Options member, in 2 weeks, you're going to get the deal of a lifetime. We're going to open up lifetime membership and you're going to get the ability to donate 100, not a portion of this lifetime investment, all of it to Sacred Warrior Fellowship. We're going to have a brief in a couple weeks. You're going to help heal survivors from Camp Mystic, the horror in Texas. So you ready to throttle up and join Lifetime? About a week and a half, I'm going to open up the doors to Lifetime. 100% tax deductible charitable donation. And you're going to help heal some women who really need our help. Isn't that awesome? That's the ultimate win-win, is to be a Top Gun Options as a lifetime member, but also help people heal. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do this right now. I hate asking this. Any questions on Raytheon? No, good. Let's move on because I want to stay on time today. And thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get into heaven to make up for the times I was not a good human being. And thank you, God, for healing me. Here we go. Long-term bullish on Merica. Why would I do this trade? You ready? Let me just give you math. 100, not 99, not 90, 100% of the time, the past 20 times the Fed has started a rate cut cycle, within 12 months after that, the S&P has had a rip your face off rally. You ready for this stat? Where's all my people who made money on the Treads a week and a half ago? So, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, back here when Jerome Powell cut rates, I reminded people of this. I said 12 months from now, 20% or 20 out of 20 times, the S&P has ripped. 50% of the time, the next 30 days have been down and up. So within 30 days of the Fed doing a rate cut cycle, it's been a coin flip. Market up, market down. 12 months, it's always been up. What did we do last month when I said this? We did that. Because I said if it's a coin flip, within 30 days of a rate cut cycle starting, the market's either gone down or up. It's 50-50. What did I say? It ain't going to be 50-50 this time because we have a government shutdown. We have raging, and I gave all the reasons. And what happened? We made $15,000. We nailed it. You're welcome. Now, and by the way, we also did what back here? We put on a bullish trade on the S&P 500 that I'm going to do right now out into the future that printed money as we did this. So after this hiccup, we're essentially back on the climb schedule, right? So let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can't trade off the left side of a chart. What do I mean by that? Just because 20 out of 20 times in the past, after the Fed starts cutting rates, the S&P a year later is higher, that doesn't mean that happens this time. I have to hedge. I'm your flight instructor. I have to red team everything I say. This ain't then, Wiz. This is today. Be present. Namaste. Take your maverick mind microdoses and be present. This can be different. Breaking news, Trump gives Zelensky tomahawks. He hit the Kremlin, and now Eastern Europe is now a parking lot. Millions dead. The market will implode by about 75%. Breaking news, new bug escaped from Wuhan, and it's killing everybody. Inflation is raging, and by the way, the Fed is actually going to start raising rates. They screwed it up again, Wiz. Now they're going to raise rates. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, that there are business cycles and market cycles. There will be a bear market for whatever reason during Trump's term. I guarantee you. Things go up, things go down. But net, over time, Mark, where's my slide? Let me just go show you. Where's my slide I showed you yesterday? Slide sorter. I love showing these charts. Where is it? Right there, or the one next to it. Over, and again, real quick, there's the dot-com boom. There's the global financial crisis. There's the scandemic, double vaxxed and boosted. There's the Joe Biden bear market that really didn't get too much attention because of the liberal media. But folks, does anybody see a trend? It's up and to the right. There's your commit criteria, step 3 of your trade plan. Let's go trade. Here we go. I use SPX. Some of you might be like, what? I trade the SPY, SPY. Well, guess what? I'm going to pay for your annual Full Throttle membership right now. If you trade SPY, pick up the phone after this brief and call your broker. I can tell you for a fact, I get better tax treatment trading SPX. SPY is an ETF, folks. You get more harsh tax treatment. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not your accountant. I don't play one on TV. You go do your own research. I tell you why I trade SPX. I don't care what you do. Keep trading SPY and losing money to Uncle Sam. I don't. I trade SPX. Okay. Now, I already said it. Stocks go up and to the right over time. Here's what I want to do. I want to go out a couple years into the future. On SPX, we actually have our original bullish on America trade is out to December of 3030. I got to be honest with you, folks. Warren Buffett does this type of stuff, right? He knows that the United States, even if something bad happens, what did I tell you? It ended in 2008. I was in the board of trade. I had to navigate my way through Occupy Wall Street protests in front of the board of trade. Why? Because the government bailed out AIG, Hank Greenberg, who caused the damn financial crisis. We bailed out Wall Street billionaires and banks. That was it. That was the end of free markets and capitalism as we know it. Now, everybody gets a trophy. Did you see what Joe Biden did 2 years ago? Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank with Barney effing Frank in New York. Regional banks took on a shitload of risk full of limousine liberals and imploded. What did Janet yell? What's it say on the door? Deposits above 250 are, under 250 are FDIC insured. What did the liberals do? What did Joe Biden and Janet Yellen do? They wiped that out. They bailed out these regional limousine liberal banks. Gavin Newsom's wife, I think, was on the board of one of the banks. They bailed out banks that made bad decisions. So, that's awesome, Jeff. His bullish on America trade out into the future is up 277%. So, what am I getting at? I'm getting at, even if something bad happens, it's going to go up. So I'm going to, instead of doing we already did one of these, we already have one on all the way out to here. I'm going to show you a similar one because I think we're going to rally in a similar fashion. I'm just going to click all strikes right now. All right. Now, what are we at right now? Let me just round up. We're at 7,000. I can't believe that. We're at 7,000 on the S&P 500. I'm using round numbers. Okay. I'm going to go as high up onto the options contracts as we can. One more time, let me show you how old I am. This is when I started trading. At the left side of this chart, 1991, Key West Naval Air Station. What has happened since it's me, right? Since I started investing. That. Now, again, political science major from South Jersey. I think I see a trend. So if you think the right side of the chart is going to look like that, look at this trade. Why don't we go out to December of 2028? What's that, 3 years? 3 years into however many years, you do the math. Years into the future. And it's not even, I was about to say, I think the S&P might double in that time. Let's say I'm wrong. Okay. But for all my hedging I've done and for all the bad out there, let me give you the good. In May of next year, what's going to happen? Jerome, he's not going to have to fire him. Jerome Powell's done. Donald Trump obviously is going to appoint somebody to be the Fed chief who is a mini Trump. The dude or the lady is going to cut interest rates to zero and maybe even negative. Don't get me wrong. That most likely is not should be done. If you want a friend, whiz, get a dog. We're going to see a rip your face off rally. Free money again. It's 2007. I'm a waitress and I make 10 grand a year. Here's a home loan for 700 grand. I'll be ready for if or when the bad happens, but let's just say there's going to be a lot of good. So if we don't double, let's just say, 7,000, that's 14,000. Let's just say 11,000, right? Man, Wiz, I think by December of 2028, the S&P is going to be up there north of 10, maybe up to 11,000. I absolutely think that's going to happen. You could buy a December 28, 11,000 call. Okay? Right now, I already said that, Werner. Buy a single D's 28, 11,000 call. That's $2,800. Well, guess what? Your profit target's unlimited, ladies and gentlemen. It could, if we're up at 14,000, you're filthy rich. But let's be realistic. Why don't we sell? Let's go 1,000 points wide. Like, let's go sell the 12,000 call against it. Okay. What did that do? It lowered my cost basis to $1,500. Okay. Wow. All right. $1,500. Now let's go take a look. So folks, this is called a bull call spread. I'm bullish. I'm using calls and it's a spread. Bull call spread. It's also called a debit spread, meaning I'm paying $1,500 to do this trade. What's the most you can ever lose in a debit spread? What you paid. So that's the max potential loss right there. Let's go look at the max potential profit. You ready? 3, 2, 1. 9. Let's just round up. $100,000. I want that to sink in. How many of you wouldn't mind spending $1,500 today to potentially make 98 grand a couple years into the future? Folks, this is a true set it and forget it. $1,500, put it in the filing cabinet. Trade deal with China, new Fed chief, interest rates are at zero. Rip your face off. And remember, folks, you don't have to stay in this trade for the next couple years. On E-Trade, you can take a journey. Let's take a journey. Hey, Wiz, we broke. Where's 10,000? We just broke 10,000 on the S&P 500. You were right. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these indices like round numbers. I remember Dow 10,000. S&P 10,000, folks, will be a magnet. The market will get pulled up to it. If we break S&P, if we hit S&P 10,000, look at I don't want to move my mouse. Look at where the green, it says theoretical P&L. How many of you would like to make, let's forget the 100 grand. How many of you wouldn't mind making 31 grand on 1,500 bucks? That's a rhetorical question. If you don't like that, please leave this brief. You're not up to speed with life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bullish on Merica trade that you've heard me do. My current TGO members have already put in some of their returns from the one we did back in April. Hell, that was a 6-month rally, and people are up 200, 300% in that trade. Does everybody understand this? You're buying a December of 2028 11,000 call option. And remember, folks, this is how Bobby Axelrod from Billions, or this is how Wall Street people do it. This is how I do it. This would be this is a saving for college. Take 1,500 bucks out of your kid's communion fund and buy them a 3-year trade that could make 100 grand. And again, you don't have to hold the trade the entire time. You could bail. Wiz, this trade made 15 grand in the next, out to May when we got a new Fed chief and the market's rallied. I'm going to take my 15. Sweet. But if, as I believe, we're going to move up and to the right on the S&P 500, this trade could make $98,500. So it's a debit spread, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you a little bit of a wizism. You're never going to get filled at the bid, right? This house is being offered for $2 million. I'll give you a 1.2. They're not even going to answer. What are you, stupid? You're most likely never going to get filled at the mid. You will absolutely, in the blink of an eye, get filled at the ask. An idiot light will flash on the other side and go, oh, people will beat the shit out of each other trying to fill you immediately. So here's what Wiz does. I walk it on up. There's a magical point in here where somebody on the other side of the trade goes, that's a fair price for that trade. I'll fill it. It's not going to be, that's a fair price. I'll fill it. And I want to lose a little bit of money on it. You're almost never in my life have I got filled on a debit spread and immediately it's green on my screen. If you're that type of trader, I'll break you of that. This is a year's trade. I guarantee you, if you get filled on this trade, it will be red initially. I think maybe I can count on one hand the number of times I've done a debit spread in my life, and the trade went and got filled and looked at it, and it was either flat or green. It's almost impossible. Do you understand? There you go, Bruce. I've made 80% on this trade in 4 months. I absolutely love that. So, and I love that my current members do what? They actually post, they're giving you a little bit of a heads up, like, hey, I got filled on this. Let me look. This looks good right here. Look at, let me move this trade around a little bit. Look down here, folks. I'm trying to draw. At the 12,000 strike, there's a lot of activity. Hell, there's a lot of activity. Oh, look, at the 10,000 strike too. What did I tell you? S&P likes round numbers. So, and don't forget at Top Gun Options, we usually move markets. That's probably some of us, you guys doing this right now too. So, I like this trade. Let me grab a screenshot. Always got to grab the screenshot for the trade alert. There was 2 buzzes from my app, which means 2 more people joined. So what's that? 11? So folks, 11 slots left. And again, take an annual member. Look at this trade. This trade is a beautiful trade. And oops, no. SPX, what's today's date? 10/21. Let me save that. Let me grab a screenshot of the risk. I think I'm doing this trade. I'm putting this one in my personal account. And don't forget, I forgot to do this. You ready? And I brief you that I do this. I'm going to do more. I think 10/21 metric. So what do I mean by that? I wouldn't mind spending $5,000 today. Let me go up. 3 contracts would be close to my $5,000, $4,600. You ready for this? $300,000. You could almost buy an L-39 Albatross fighter jet for that amount. Ladies and gentlemen, Wiz, I'm going to take 10% of my retirement portfolio and do this trade. I don't mind risking 10 grand in this trade. That would be 6 contracts, $600,000. Joe, that's all it has out there. It's an AM trade. It doesn't matter, man. 3 years out into the future. These all say AM. Once you get closer to the expiration, they come out with a PM. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just go. What was I doing initially? 3 for $4,600. And let's just go $4,600 and do the 10. S&P just broke 10,000 this morning. Wiz, you were right. Yay, get your S&P 10,000 hat. If I do 3 contracts and the S&P hits 10,000 during the life of this trade, again, I can't move my mouse. Look down to the, let me just go right here. Look, keep your eyes, or that's what I'll do. I'll put a yellow box here. I'll close that. How do I get back to the tool? Oh, here you go. Look, you ready? When the underlying hits 10,000, boink, that's $100,000. If I do 3 contracts and the S&P hits 10,000 in the next 3 years, I made $100,000. And it's funny because, throughout the years, some people, I'll send out an email. People are like, I don't believe you've made X amount. I'm like, here's my E-Trade account. This is what? Oh, and of course they never answer back, right? With 1 trade, Wiz made $100,000. I think that's bullshit. What? I think you're bullshit. Look at these guys, folks. Look at that. Awesome. Guys, I already answered this, man. Like 3 people why I picked the 28. You guys need to listen to the brief, so I'm not going back. Hunters. New bullish on Merica trade to Dees of 28, right? It was Dees 28. Like, you guys got 30 on the brain here. Dees of 28. And folks, so to go back to the Dees 30, you don't have to do this one if you have your Dees 30 on right now. If you already have a bullish on America trade, I'm doing this for new people. Or you can double up. It's up to you. I don't care. All right, let me grab the images. Move that out of the way. SPX. Again, folks, after you join, go download the Go Collab. Needs to be the right thread, Trade Alerts thread. Let me make sure I didn't put the other trade in the wrong place. Raytheon's in the Trade Alert thread. And my lifetime members. Trade Alerts. New. Bullet. There you go. Covering this for new members. You go to the Apple Store. You download Go Collab. GOKOLLAB. This is how you get your app alerts that are lighting up my phone right now. Instantaneous alerts. You can go over to learning. What are we in right now? We're in the primary live trade brief. You click on primary. This is where the replay will be. View the replays, and it comes up right there. Slash, absolutely. I would sell front month bull put spreads to help pay for the debit spread. Absolutely. Yeah. That is absolutely what I would do. Always takes forever to load that page. There you go. So here's an example of what the member pages look like. This was last week, last Tuesday. Look at this, folks. Well, let me scroll down. Look at that right there. Men lie, trades don't. We covered closing our bearish SPX treads for significant profits while highlighting their use in protecting our long-term bullish positions. $15,177 on 2 bearish trades. Boom. So the 15 grand in the S&P 500 I made last week on those bearish treads, I just took 10% of it and I'm buying a bullish on America. Didn't I? I'm showing you right now how you can dogfight the market. Hell, Wiz made 15 grand as the market went down. Now he's showing me a trade that could make 100 grand years out into the future. One more time, folks. Let's say between that, it's 11:11. We are on the right path. Thank you, God, for everything. New Fed chief named in May, and the S&P rallies, and that trades up 15 grand in 6. Look at the current TGO members telling you what they're up already. You can close these things and re-enter them. Hey, Wiz, my bullish on America trades up 20 grand since April. I closed it. I put it in my kid's college fund. I'm going to re-enter one. Nobody has gone broke taking a profit, ladies and gentlemen. So it's up to you. You are the tick. You are the trader in command. Ron, you the GOAT. You're the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. You're the GOAT. So this is what the primary member page looks like, right? This is where the primary replay from today will be placed. Tomorrow, there's accelerated retirement. Here's Options Weapons School, baby. When you join right now, because the annual slots are going, go watch Options Weapons School Session 1, Session 2. So all the way down here, folks, right there, Session 6 is synthetic stock. I did it on Raytheon. I did it quickly. Why did I do it quickly? Because you should go watch your training and you come to a live trade brief, what? Armed with the knowledge of how to do it. You might need the rust knocked off a little bit. And over here on the right of the Options Weapons School page is the manuals where you download all your stuff, print them out, go to the beach, and read those things. Okay, so there's Options Weapons School. Let me go back to our member area. Okay, let me, because I don't want to go too much longer. Obviously, we cut it short yesterday. Debbie, yeah, you can AirPlay anything from your phone or your laptop onto a TV. Yeah, you can watch all the Options Weapons School stuff on the big screen. Quick reminder, this replay will be on this page shortly. I'm going to get up, stretch my legs, get a new cup of coffee. As the video renders, it'll be up here, and then this replay will move down to its own little square underneath this. So all the replays from this week will be on this page, okay? Like I said, if I don't get 11 more people by Wednesday, I'll open up a handful of monthlies. I'm not doing that right now. I only want to focus on serious people who are ready for their annual membership. Okay, I just showed you a trade. Well, Raytheon trade's awesome, but I just showed you a trade that can make 100 grand in a couple years. Would you invest $3 grand, $29.95 today to stick with me and learn all this stuff? If not, you probably aren't a good fit. If there's any question about joining right now, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm going to do this trade. And I'll see if I have to walk it on up. What do I mean by that? I already briefed you, but I'm going to hang out. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a pitch. I'm going to come back here, and if I'm not filled, I'm going to move it up. How much? I don't know, a nickel. Why'd you say nickel? Because I said a nickel. Maybe I'll do 10 cents. Why'd you change your mind? Because I wanted to say 10 cents. I'm just going to gently walk it up and try and get filled at the least debit possible. Does that make sense? Okay. Barry, I love JP Morgan, man. I am long-term bullish on JP Morgan. How's my JP Morgan position looking? I put this on like 6 months ago. It's up 117%. Yes, it's never not a good time to get long-term bullish on JP Morgan, man. I absolutely love the name. We'll talk about MindMed tomorrow. We'll talk about Atai. I absolutely love all those names. Absolutely. Got our financials, got our psychedelics. We are having a blast here. And if you can't tell, folks, we have a great group of people. Look at all these people, man. Let me just remind you, let me do this. I already covered this stuff yesterday. Let me just give you a quick reminder here. So make sure you have a brokerage account where you can trade options. If not, get options approval. If they're not going to give it to you, leave. Go to E-Trade, go somewhere else. And when you apply, make sure you tell them, I've been trading options a lot and I know what I'm doing, or they're not going to give you approval. Solo Amazon, it's our entry-level service. It's $97 a month, $970 a year. It's cheaper. We'll do that Thursday. We're focusing yesterday, today, and tomorrow on what's called Full Throttle. However, if you're, you know what, Wiz, I want to do the training, but I want to be putting some real capital at risk. Join the Hunters. You can join the Hunters today. That's that annual membership. You get access to the app. You get access to the 286 squadron mates that are, it's the best hedge fund I've ever known, folks. Why? Because we're trading our own money. Quick story. We had a trader who got around our risk management systems in Chicago, traded a biotech. He lost $4 million in a minute. Immunogen. As I was walking, didn't even let him go back to his desk. As I was walking him out of I had beers with the dude, man. He was a good guy, not, typical Chicago trader guy. I'm like, bro, what, Mike, what are you doing? Never forget this. He looked me in the eyes and he chuckled. He's like, wasn't my money. Week later, he was working at a competing firm down the street. So don't think these professional, all the folks at Top Gun Options, folks, we're managing our own money, man. So our give a shit meter is a lot higher. I already told you in about a week and a half, I'm going to do a super big lifetime push, man, because I want to fund Sacred Warrior Fellowship and the Camp Mystic. I had that call at 1 o'clock today, a Camp Mystic healing retreat. We need the funds to get these women healed. So that's what we're going to do. Full Throttle, you get your Options Weapons School. You get access to the live trade briefs. I already showed you where the live Options Weapons School videos are and everything like that. And you get your manuals. Okay. So quick reminder, Solo Amazon is not part of Full Throttle. It's a separate standalone service. Just about everybody at Top Gun Options is in both. Some people start in Solo and then join Full Throttle. Other people start in Full Throttle and go, hey, I should add that Solo Amazon. Okay. So, like I said, I'm only taking however many more slots we have. Go Collab is called the app. It's right there on my phone. I trade from everywhere, folks. The chairlift, my fighter jet. This is awesome. I'm going to go take a call on the beach today, and I'll be placing trades and all sorts of stuff through there. Let me, go show you what the Hunters looks like real quick. Here's the Hunters right here. Learning across, here's all your stuff across the top. And then we have 2 threads. This is where I place my intel and commentary, and other people do too. I place that Wall Street Journal article in there, the SIBO stuff, the Amazon shit, all sorts of stuff like that. Great news yesterday on a tie. We're going to cover that tomorrow. So this is the intel and commentary thread. Then what do we have? A trade alerts thread, man. What do we post in there? Trades only. There's a Bullish on Merica trade I did, the Raytheon trade I just did, right? Some other trades I did yesterday for my members. Everything's posted in here. You get everything in there. Okay. I'm dying here. My throat's telling me it's close to ending here. Questions? Oops. Questions, concerns. Oh, by the way, smart remarks. Joe, it's a market. A tie goes up, a tie goes down. It's going up. It probably sold the news a little bit after yesterday's pop. So Michael, what do you like about NNE? Join, and I'll tell you what I like about NNE. It's so funny because my marketing folks are like, you give way too much stuff away during your full throttle week. Most other places have you charge at least $100 to get 4 days of access to these rooms, but not me. I prove over 4 days what I do is awesome, and then you decide. Zach, ready to go, man. We'll get airborne. Let me give you the link, and you'll be, I think, number 10, which is good. Like I said, we're only taking 15 annual members. Trade groups, full throttle, right there. And it's on the replay page too, Zach, obviously. Right there. Isn't that, oh, wait, I'm not done. I told you I'd walk it on up, and I didn't. Let me start walking, like Christopher walking. All right, nothing happening. What's, it's, how much you going to go up, Wiz? 1,600, or 16. Why'd you do that? I did. Who got filled at this? What did you get filled at? I do, man. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. I need some penicillin for that. What Rick got filled at 1565. I'm going to try that. 1565. I'm going to try and get filled where Rick did. Hey, look at that. Now watch. Oh my God, Wiz, you suck. You're the worst trader in the world. I'm losing $31. If that's you, please don't join Top Gun Options. Go find somewhere else or find something else to do. It's a debit spread. Nobody's going to be on the other side of that trade and say, you know what? I'm in the mood to lose $31. Then fill that trade. Now, knowing what I just did, if you want to get filled on that trade, maybe go a nickel or 10 cents a bit below me, and maybe you can. And look, it's already turning around because the S&P is turning around a little bit. Does everybody understand that? It's so funny because somebody did that one time, like, oh, I got filled on that. Now I'm immediately losing money. I'm like, what? Scott, folks, I started August 24 with solo Amazon, then quickly upgraded to full throttle. And yep, Scotty's a lifetime member. Since I have made enough to help, that's got a nice check yesterday from Scott. Thank you and your beautiful bride for your donation. Look at Scott's journey, folks. Solo, full throttle. Now he's a lifetime member. That's awesome. And he's putting the ladder down to help people heal. I absolutely love that. Ron, do you also do day trades? I do. I did one yesterday that didn't do so good. It right at the closing bell, man. So yes, I do. I do S&P 500 bear sniper trades. I might do one right now. Yeah, I do day trades. I don't sit here. I'd rather get my teeth drilled than sit here all day. I'm dying right now. An hour and 23 minutes. I want to climb out of my skin right now. But when I was doing my sales pitch, when we failed up here at 67.50, I wanted to shoot a bear call spread, but I didn't. Nah, we're in no man's land right now. We're between 50 and 25. Once it breaks in a direction, I'll most likely either shoot a bear call spread or a bull put spread. So yes, I do. So, God, I'm choking here. All right, guys, I got to go. That's my reminder that it's time to get off the air. Tomorrow, one more full throttle brief. AR, accelerated retirement. You're going to be blown away by what we talk about, or maybe you're not going to be blown away by what we talk about. But you have the potential to print a shit ton of money and save and change lives. That's the ultimate win-win, folks. Okay, so make sure you join me for AR tomorrow, and make sure you watch the replay from yesterday, and obviously the replay from today will be posted here shortly. That's it. I'm done. Have a great rest of your day. Fights on. Namaste and Basi. Wiz out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.